It's been a long time, not just since I opened the door for this season with recording, but also since I recorded on my own. It's not just that I, stopped liking recording or anything like that. It's just the fact that I lost interest in I got used to having the ability to bounce ideas off other people and bounce thoughts off other people and use other people to help with everything. And it was also the fact that after 3 years of recording Let's Plays, I got a little burnt out. And with that being said, I even lost interest in doing the Inside TEW series that I used to do. But either way, not either way, but with the fact that we are coming down to the wire with TEW 2020 coming out in less than a year, it was time to start wrapping up. It's getting to the point where it's time to start wrapping up this series in particular, and I felt that the only way to wrap this series up is to give you guys a little bit more of an inside look on this, my longest personal save. As I am entering year 11, yes, that's right, year 11, in this personal save, 1,606 shows. I've hit 99s. I've never hit 100. I don't think I've ever hit a 100 in TEW 13. I've hit 100 a couple times on TEW 16, but never this game. As you see the other statistics, I don't also know the last time I was actually on this side of the track. I'm usually on this side. Iron Fist and Loyalty. I'm never really Velvet Glove and Loyalty. But I am with Eric Bischoff. Also, Starrcade just happened. Starrcade 2001. As you see, I stacked everything up, and it was a show that I wanted to make sure everybody who's anybody could jump in and be a part of. Edge and Christian are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Kid Cash is Cruiserweight Champion, as you saw earlier. Lord Steven won the television title back. Flair beat Sting. The Dudleys are still tag team champions. Chavo beat Eddie. Angle retained the United States title, as you saw. Cactus Jack won the world title. And Brock Lesnar beat the Patriot. A lot has changed, and enough has changed since the last time I was here, the last time I was recording, that it would take way too long to try and show off, and even try and figure out everything that has changed in the time since the time I last recorded. So I'm just gonna go over what sticks out, because it is the first of the month, and that means that the PWI 500 or the Power 500 is out, and we can see who had the best year for me and in the world, and also the year-end awards are out, so we're going to take a look at that too. So as you can see, Mexico and Japan are up front. Sabu is actually here too, and he worked in Japan last year. New Japan and All Japan. That's pretty much all he's done in his career. A Mexico trip. Not really much else. He's never actually worked for me or WWE. Tony Norris, yes, Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson is actually relatively popular. Ahmed, much like Sabu, has never worked for me, but he worked for Global. He's worked for OVW since their inception. Oh, actually, wait. Ahmed did work for me back in '95. See, I don't even remember. ECW. He worked for ECWA to start. Dan Severn. And I think Kurt Angle is the highest rated guy in my company. Arn Anderson is up there. See, I had a better idea of how it works in TW16. I don't necessarily know how it works in this game, but either way, Kurt Angle, Arn Anderson, Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Goldberg, Flair, Terry Gordy. Let's go to top 100. DDP's there. Rick Steiner. Raven, who's in WWE. Mick Foley. Loki's actually here. Good for him. Taka. The Giant. I think that's his highest. Well, I don't even have to click into it. Yeah, that's his highest rating. He's gone up every year since his debut. Or since his debut in the numbers. Shalo's gone up again. Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner's actually in All Japan. He's not with me. RVD, I think he's still in Mexico. Yep. The Warrior. Sting. Owen. Austin. D'Lo Brown's actually got a good standing. Booker T. And now we move to the year-end awards. Mysterioso. See, I was trying to remember the last time I actually saw a Mexican wrestler win the Wrestler of the Year, because usually it's the Japanese guys that win the Wrestler of the Year. But we'll see. We'll look at Mysterioso and compare him to the top Japanese guy to see if there's any difference that sticks out. Oh wow, Tag Team of the Year too. Goes to Mexico with Apolio, Dantes, and Felino winning it for the second year in a row. Young Wrestler of the Year, Low-Key for the third year in a row. Yes, I actually won it back in '98 with Jeff Hardy. Veteran of the Year, this might be me. Oh no, Fuji. Woman? Yeah, Woman of the Year. Debbie Malenko. Not surprising, I have her in another personal save, and she's actually pretty good. Independent Wrestler of the Year. Dan Severn, second time he won that award. Last time he won it was 5 years ago. Company of the Year, Mexico. Not surprised with their top guys being the Wrestler and a Tag Team of the Year. Most Improved goes to NWA Southwest for the second time. Which they are a decent company, but they gotta get some momentum and stability, which is what they're lacking. Match of the Year is probably Mexico. Yep. A 100, Angel Azteca and Apolio Dantes. And Mexico probably gets the Card of the Year too. Up. I messed up. Oh no. All Japan. All Japan with the card of the Year, same card as last year. Manager of the Year, Bobby Heenan with the WWE. Yes, I know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, 9-time Manager of the Year. I Also just realized that only Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bobby Heenan have won it in the 11 years that I've done this season. When I started this season, that was before I knew how to eliminate people like Schwarzenegger from the season. But now that I know Schwarzenegger and other actors that are user talents when you start are not necessarily a part of my seasons normally. Dave Brown, so I get the award because Dave Brown works for me. I'm pretty sure he still does. Which I'm surprised it was Dave Brown and not Jim Ross, but either way. Bobby Heenan, I guess he does both. I mean, as you can tell, Susan Sexton got some recognition, Bobby Heenan, Jim Cornette. I think Jimmy was working for... That's before... he was working for me back then, but I didn't have him as a color commentator, I don't think. And I think he was still working elsewhere as a color commentator. And the last award goes to Earl Hebner, Referee of the Year. Do I have Earl Hebner, or does WWE have Earl Hebner? WWE has Earl Hebner. As I mentioned, well, yeah, that's the reason why he got the top spot, I'm assuming. Average rating 90, highest rating 99. And he's also NWA World Welterweight Champion. But if you go Steve Williams has an average rating of an 86 and a highest rating of a 98. So if I had to guess, that's probably one of the reasons why Mr. Williams is number 10 and not number 1. And now if you jump into the Hall of Immortals, you can see some of the guys that have retired and been recognized as worth induction into the Hall of Immortals, like Dusty Rhodes. I think Jumbo, or did Jumbo not retire in this? Oh no, he actually just retired recently, within the last year. Roddy Piper, I think, if I remember correctly, I think Roddy Piper retired since the last time we were here. I actually don't know because I stopped making him wrestle. But yeah, Roddy retired last year at some point. Tatsumi Fujinami, Fabulous Moolah, The Sheik, and Vern Gagne. Well, I guess we can check out some storylines. This actually should end. Kid Cash and Stevie, Kidman and Goldberg. This is over. This ended at Starrcade after 5 months. Or 5 months. The Dark Army. That's not ending yet. That's still not. And had I known that, I would have let Arn win, but oh well. So as you can tell, we're in we got a little bit of transitioning. We're a little transitioning, but also some moving forward. Some moving forward continuation from Starrcade. CM Punk's here, Trish Stratus is here, Rhino, Matt Hardy. I also realize that Bret Hart, he's on time decline. if this is your first video watching, then I would like to point out that Bret Hart has actually never won a world title because he remained with the WWE. I got him, and he was already on time decline to the point of where it would be too difficult to... It wouldn't be worthwhile to give him a title, give him the opportunity to win the world title. Because I have a certain standard set in motion for the guys on the top of the card, and if you can't fulfill that, then you can't make it at the top of the card. But I also wanted to point out that I am aware that the Giant and Cactus Jack, the former world champion and the current world champion, are not on the top 5 list, but the current North American champion, The Rock, is on the top 5, and is actually number 1 on the top 5 of the most popular people in the company. But also, it's not just The Rock is one of the most popular people in the company, but he's one of the best in-ring competitors in the company as well. And the one thing that I would like to point out is that the reason why The Rock is considered one of the top people in the company is because how this game works is if you put youngsters with older guys, better people, then the better people teach them how to work in the ring. Or can teach them how to work in the ring and do a little bit better, or get a little bit better, because that is actually, if I can point out, where's Dean Malenko? That's why Dean Malenko has a 96-76 in ring, is because him working with Arn Anderson in a tag team for the last 5 years before they broke up actually helped Dean Malenko become one of the top stars and one of the more well-rounded competitors in the company. Yeah. And helped him become more popular? More appealing, because he was more of a complete competitor. Jake Roberts is at the end of his road. Terry Funk, David and Larry Power. As you can tell, or let's take a look at the tag team division for a minute. They're breaking up. They just challenged for the tag team titles. They're jobbers. And they're meh. Actually, there's a good reason why I should be coming in here. Because the Power Twins are not a tag team. And they need to be. So let's come in here and make Larry and David a tag team. There we go. Basically, the reason why the Power Twins are here is twofold. Number one, it's because I have gotten a habit of signing guys who never had the opportunity to work for a major company and just give them even just a short run with me, just to have the ability to say they worked for a major company. But it's also because they're a tag team, and I could have them feud with, Don Harris and Evan Courageous, or the Full-Blooded Italians, or Holly Cousins, or, a different team, and just have the ability to put over one of the lesser-known tag teams that I have, like the Holly Cousins or the Full-Blooded Italians, and just, establish those teams a little bit more, to give them a little bit more momentum as far as moving up a little further to possibly challenge the Dudley Boys for the tag team titles. That's pretty much the only reason why they're here. They're pretty much here to put over other tag teams. No, in this recording I'm not gonna book the show, because I don't really want to, as I have other stuff to do before I jump into the recording, like setting up other storylines and maybe checking out the pre-booking for the upcoming pay-per-view / the rest of the year, or at least the first part of the year. As you can tell, I have some plans set up for the first half of the year that I need to start figuring out. And that's actually why I'm not going to record right out of the gate, because I want to start figuring out this stuff. So, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane and look into my longest personal save, 11 years with the WCW starting in 1991. And I hope you are looking forward to the next time we take a trip back in the wrestling time machine to TEW 2013 and WCW 2002. Till next time. If you liked the video, please feel free and leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.